Hi, in this short module, I'm going to review some troubleshooting. Some of you have difficulties passing the first hurdle, that is to install BIBOP and BMO. First thing we need to understand is that to access the TWS, you need a piece of software, TWS.ocx, that works as a gateway or an interface to the TWS. TWS is a Java application that basically runs as a server. So we need the client software, which is not built in Excel, to access the TWS. A software like OptionView also uses the same type of TWS.ocx. Something for the more technically minded of you, something I can recommend is that you Google up Interactive Brokers API and you come here, get API, and actually even for the simple reason that I am distributing this as a non-commercial usage, I would actually recommend or advise, as I will not take any responsibility in that regard, that you download the API and that you use BIBOP as if it was yours. Something you can see is that the TWS that is used in OptionView is obsolete. The latest ones are more advanced, they run faster, and I am in the process of changing BIBOP to use the 973 version. At the moment, I do have a compatibility issue because I still run OptionView with the old 9.71. I've actually subscribed to the IB chat group and I've asked that question, are there any known issues about running, etc., etc. So once it is resolved, I will change the software to run on the newer API. Let's go back to installing BIBOP. So to install that TWS, you need to register it. So there again, you can, for those of you who have OptionView, there's a simple utility software here called regTWS. That does exactly it. It has been packaged as an exe, but basically it's nothing. So what I have written here is a little batch file, regtws.bat. If I edit it, there's only one line, reg server 32, and here you specify where your tws.ocx file is. Of course, at the moment, because I'm using the old OptionView one, it is in the OptionView folder. This is why this batch file is in the same folder. The location of the file is irrelevant. You can place it wherever you want. If you have a BIBOP folder, place your tws.ocx there, place the regtws.bat there, everything it will run fine. Because what it does, actually let me run it, even though it's already registered. Register succeeded. Just press to close. The other possibility, of course, is that you click on Windows, Run, and here you type Command, CMD, and you can actually, if you don't want to use that batch file, you can do the same here. Here I have not specified anything, that's why I've got that warning message. So there are various ways to get it going. Once the TWS is registered, it's actually accessible by all compliant software on your machine. It is not limited to BIBOP, and we're using the same TWS.ocx that OptionView is using. So now everything should be running fine. Let's go to BIBOP. When you first launch BIBOP, it will initialize the connection. So it will first check that the TWS.ocx is properly registered. And it will say, well, yes, it is initialized, but it's not connected. I have my TWS running. All I need to do is to click on to connect. It will return a timestamp, which is the only way the TWS tells you that it is accepting the connection. The feedback from TWS is minimal. So we just have this as a confirmation BIBOP is properly connected. You can check now and then whether TWS has dropped the connection. Actually, within the program, this button is internally clicked on the regular basis. So now if we go to option chains, we just have to request all data and it will start the feed. That said, this quick setup, registering the TWS, starting BIBOP and requesting the feed, would probably work fine if you had already set up your TWS with another client like OptionView. Things can still happen, and so let's go a little deeper and check the setting. In your TWS, you click that for the settings, you click to API and you check your settings. OptionView and BIBOP use the ActiveX, so make sure this one is enabled. These ones may be used in the future, but we're not using them now. You can create an API message log, maybe not needed, but for debugging purposes. At this point, I am not restricting connections, but you may have the first time you connect BIBOP to the TWS, you may have the TWS asking you to accept an incoming connection. It will only happen once, and you just press yes. What is important to know here is that you've got a socket port number. This will have to be the same on BIBOP. We shall look later on a more advanced module how to run BIBOP on a different machine, because the TWS can actually accept a connection across the internet. So you could, for example, have your TWS on one machine, on a server, for example, and have BIBOP on a different machine. But let's not go into this type of detail right. What is important to remember here is to enable ActiveX clients and the port number. If we go back to BIBOP, we use the same port number here. And as comment in the cell says, you must have the same number here. Another thing that is important is your client ID. I have put 2 because I am still using option view, which probably uses 1, and you can have up to 15 clients. So basically several instances of BIBOP running on your computer. Of course, Excel does not accept several workbooks to be opened under the same name, but you may have, for example, a BIBOP for the Russell, a BIBOP for SPX, and BIBOP for other underlyings in the future. So remember 7496 and the client number. And the host here is, as I said just now, is that you put in the IP address if your TWS is running on another machine, another location. If I, for example, now I think if I put the wrong port number, this will just not work. See? So, but the error messages from TWS maybe can't connect. Yeah, this is what I got. Confirm, etc. But it doesn't actually tell you it's a port number. So the error messages from IB may be sometimes a little bit abscond. So just make sure the port number is correct and that will be fine. So let me put back 7496. And of course, those figures will never change. The only thing will change again is to have a different client ID per instance of BIBOP running on your computer. Okay, that's it for this short introduction. I hope that by following these steps you do not come across any problem. Please note also that this has been written with Office 365, and it is basically the 32-bit version of Excel. It should run fine on the 64-bit version, but if you have any error message, please come back to me and I will try and fix it. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.